Our NextGenWeb is joined today by Verizon Executive Vice President Tauke, and Tom, you just gave a major broadband policy speech here at NDN, and I was wondering if you could share with our viewers what you were looking to accomplish today.
It's become clear to us over the last several months, years, that we do have a statutory problem when it comes to governance of the internet space. So therefore we have faced a situation where various agencies of government are attempting to address an array of policy issues with no statutory structure from the Congress. So what we're saying is Congress needs to look at this and address the issue. So whether the issue is behavioral advertising, or it's net neutrality, or it is other issues affecting the competition in the space, I think it's very important that Congress lay out a framework for what the policy is, set forward some principles, establish a workable process that gives those players in the space answers as quickly as possible.
And the FCC just rolled out its national broadband plan. Do you think that will give some energy to the vision that you shared today?
Now that we have a national broadband plan, I really think we also need a national broadband policy. You aren't going to achieve the objectives of the plan if we don't have a statutory structure which allows us to have a good policy in place. We don't want this to be the wild, wild west. We also don't want it to be constrained by the heavy regulation that has governed the telephone or the broadcast industry in years gone by. Instead, we need a new statutory framework and new governance processes that work for this internet ecosystem.
All right. Now, on that point, Tom, there were kind of 4 key areas that you outlined today for the audience, and without making you go through all of those in great detail again, could you touch on those a little bit for our viewers?
The thrust is this: the consumers ought to be in charge. Consumers ought to be able to make the choices they want in the space, and they should have access to the content, access to the applications, access to all the devices that they want. They should be able to get the information they need in order to be clear about what service plans they're buying, what the implication is if they download an application. They ought to have protection for their privacy if they go online. There are things that need to be done to ensure that consumers have a great internet experience. Then you also have some issues around the relationships among the players within the internet space. And no company should be able to engage in anti-competitive activity. Different companies have market power in different parts of the internet space, and no company should be able to leverage that market power in an inappropriate way to disadvantage others.
All right. Well, Tom, we thank you for sharing your thoughts today, and we look forward to following this very important discussion.
Thank you, Jeff.